Okay, so if you've got leads, if you've got customers coming in, but you're not able to turn them into like high paying, high ticket clients, I'm going to run you through this system to achieve exactly that. Now, if you've been following along with this little video course, you should have seen the video on identifying your specific ideal customer persona, your ICP, and that is what's going to enable you to sell them the second video, which goes into how to craft a high ticket offer that they really want to buy. It's all about that specificity. Then we've got how to bring leads in at scale. And basically that's all about self-liquidating offer on the front end to bring people in. But then you need to know how to upsell them to the high ticket profit driving offers. That's what we're covering in this video. Okay. Essentially, we spoke about in the other video that we have the ACA model: attract, capture, convert, engage, refer. And my preferred method is actually to skip capture for especially newer businesses and go straight from attract to convert, because what that does, this part here, is it makes this a self-liquidating offer. Personally, I put $35 in, I get $65 back, which means I'm at a $30 profit with each person that comes through. But I'm never going to live a wealthy life off $30 per person. I'm not going to be able to hit that scale. Let me turn this light on. There we go. What I then need to focus on is how I can then nurture people at the engage stage to put them through here. Now, the wonderful thing about the ACA model is it helps keep you focused. You need one asset at attract, so we could be using ads. One at convert, sales page for a low ticket offer. Engage, I use daily emails or email sequences as well to nurture them towards the high ticket offer. Most people get this wrong, and I'm going to show you the secrets to how to convert lots of people who are coming through into your high ticket offer. People who have used these systems, as one guy, he did a brand new offer. He was making $200 on the front end, and then it was a 25% roughly conversion rate into the high ticket offer, the signature offer, which was, I think, $500 a month or something like that. It was around that number anyway. Another guy had an email list that he hadn't emailed in 2 years. And we basically implemented the same kind of nurture system to list leads that were already on his list. And we did around $14,000 in 2 weeks using this. Completely cold list, hadn't heard from him in a long time. So I'm going to run you through the exact system. Now, most people, they get this pretty wrong when they try and do this, okay? They think that it's just a case of emailing every single day and saying, hey, buy now. Hey, here's this great offer. You should really consider buying this now. Grab it fast before it goes away. They'll think that basically presenting the offer is great. That's all that you need to do, and then you need some boosters in there, so you build in some FOMO and stuff, and is what's going to make people take that next step with you. It's a bit more complicated than that, especially when you're looking at selling higher ticket items to people. So there's a couple of bits that you need to consider. If anything that, for high ticket offers, and we're talking about anything that's 2K plus, 1K plus, it's different depending on the market, but generally it's a very general rule, and this is a guideline, not a hard fast rule. Anything over 2K, I would say, is a high ticket offer. With the messaging that you're sending out and those nurture sequences, you need to increase trust and lower risk, or perceived risk is what we should be saying. Your offer should be non-risky anyway. Like, they should always get more than they pay you back as a return. However, it's about that risk perception on their front. So you need to lower that perceived risk and increase the trust in you and the offer. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways you can do that, and I'll run through the sequence basic from a high level that we use for this. But essentially, for trust, there's a couple of different things that you want to be looking at. So they need to trust that the system works, so it needs to be a tried and tested system. They need to believe in you and your expertise. That also leads into liking you, and they need to see proof. If we're to break this down very simply, by that the system works, if I was to say to you, and so this is about the mechanism, is essentially, lots of people overlook the mechanism. If I was to say to you, I'm going to help you achieve this big goal, and then you would say, but how? I don't know. Are you going to believe that? If they're like, I don't know, it just works, I'm just going to help you do it, it's fine. But if they have a mechanism that's tried and tested and implemented in the past, they're going to be like, oh, this person, they know what they're talking about. You see it all the time. The one that always cracks me up is on the anti-aging creams and things, and they all have hyaluronic acid, and then they talk about it If they said, put this cream on your face and you'll look younger, people would be like, how? And it goes, well, it's got hyaluronic acid. People are like, whoa, how does that work? And they say, scientifically, ABC, and that sounds legit. They need to believe in you and your expertise as an expert. So if you're to come along and say, I'm going to help you grow your business, or I'm going to help you lose weight, or I'm going to help you achieve this goal, and then they're going to say, what's your experience in this? Oh, I don't have any experience. I'm just, going to give it a try, see what happens. No one's going to believe that. So you need to build belief in you and your expertise. And that leads to this, and this is another underrated element, right? People need to like you to buy from you. If they think they know what they're doing, but I just don't like the person, they're not going to buy. So you need to build some sort of rapport there with that person. And then proof, it's all good saying that you have a system, that you have expertise, and that you're a likable person. But proof goes beyond that. To build more trust, you need to show that it's working for other people too. And when you increase these, you inherently lower the risk, but there are some other things as well. And these are just guidelines in each camp. As you lower risk, trust increases. As you increase trust, perceived risk decreases. So they all meld together. But there are certain things that people think of, more risk-averse people will think of. So you need to look at those. The first one, is it a reasonable cost? If I said to you, I'm going to help you make $5,000 a month, and it will cost you $4,000 a month. Hold on, that doesn't really seem like a fair exchange. Is it a reasonable cost? The other thing is, how quick are we going to get these results? I don't want to work to earn $5,000 a month through your system if it's going to take me 18 months to get there. That's beyond what I'm thinking of. I want to get faster results than that. So you need to have quick results. Did a good breakdown on this in the last video where we talked about how you can build little progress milestones to keep people motivated. The other thing with the risk is, that's all well and good. And this comes up to that kind of tied in with have seen proof. That's all good that it works for you. You've got 12 years in growth marketing. Of course it works for you. You know what you're doing. Will it work for me? So you need to lower that perceived risk, like this will work for anyone. And how hard and easy is this to implement? Is it something that's going to take a lot of time, effort, money, resources? Or is it something any old person can just come along and be like, yeah, smash that in? So you need to address these elements in the messaging that you're sending out at this engage stage to pre-sell people on the concept of purchasing your high ticket offer. You can't just say buy now. You need to weave these messages around these kind of elements to build trust and lower that perceived risk. How does this actually work though? So when you're building the system, and this is the same kind of diagrams as before, where, they're here and this is the transformation. In this case, it's they're there, and you need to get them to this point where they feel happy and confident that they will spend that money with you. You can just go buy now, and you can run discounts, you can run FOMO elements, you can run all of this kind of stuff. And that works fine for things like low ticket, where it's like below $100, because most people then would throw that $100 in and be like, look, if it doesn't work, at least I'll have learned something. It's not going to really damage me, my income, whatever. It's fine to do that if you already have a lot of trust built up with the audience, because people in there are probably waiting to pay you anyway, so you get some sales. But everything else needs a little bit more than just saying, buy now. You need something that is a bit more detailed and addresses certain things. Okay. So essentially what it comes down to is there are different reasons why somebody won't buy. Now, when I've been building email sequences and these kind of ascension systems for clients, you see a lot of people who think it's just about hammering them with more reasons that they should buy. Buy now because this, because this. What it usually comes down to is not adding reasons to do something. It's removing reasons why they shouldn't do it. So you've got to flip that, right? So they're here. This is where they're happy to buy on the right. Usually there are blockages that will stop them from taking that action. And those blockages are going to be different reasons that they think, this is too risky, or I don't trust you enough yet. So it could be like, will it work for me? Have you done this before? Do you have proof that it works? Can I afford this? It's all these different things. I've tried something like this in the past. It didn't work. How is this different? There's 101 different reasons why somebody might not buy. Getting them to feel comfortable in that purchase is about removing those questions and those doubts that they have. Okay? Some people will have one doubt, one concern, might be like, say, price sensitive person, might be like, it's a little price, it's a little costly for me, that price. So how can we overcome that blockage? Payment plan talk about the ROI. Other people might have a completely different thing about, will it work for me? I've tried similar things. They've never worked in the past. Why is this one going to work? Some people might have both of those. Some people might have 3, 4, 5. And you essentially have to build an automated sequence that sequentially removes the reasons that stop somebody from buying. It's just going to basically pull these out. And so then that person that's left is going to feel comfortable buying. And like I said, some people will just see one of those emails and be like, that's what I was concerned about. You've now laid my fears to rest and I'm happy to purchase. Other people will need 2, 3, 4. Some people will never feel comfortable buying, and that's fine. So automated sequence that removes those hesitations, those questions, those problems, those blocks that people have. So the general sales email sequence that helps that chap that I talked about do like 14 grand in 2 weeks. And also there's a workshop in Growth Models Plus community, also all of the full templates for this whole system. The general thing that I like to do is you start off with absolution, and it's, look, it's not your fault that you've not got the results that you want, because I always feel like nobody wants to feel like they're the problem. There's a reason that you haven't succeeded. Yeah, it's you. Nobody wants that. That's not going to make people feel good. You need to help people see there is potential for growth and transformation. So you need to say, look, it's not your fault. It's just that you've been taught the wrong thing. Let's talk about how we can actually get you on the right path. So you absolve them of the sin of their failures, essentially. Next thing I like to move people to is get them empowered and excited about the outcome. Get them excited about that transformation, and then say, look, you have the ability to do this. So when people are like, oh, can I do this? Do it. You're like, yes, you can, because I know this. You've done this, you've done that. You can get that end result. Get them excited about it. Make them feel like they can achieve it. Boom, great. Make it seem easy. And so you basically then run through some emails where it's like, anyone can do this. Here's how, here's why, here's how it works. In this one, I like to touch a little bit on how the mechanism actually works, because there are people like myself who are very analytical with this kind of stuff. And I want to know how systems work, because I want to look at things. And in my brain, I like to think, oh, that would fit in here. And that would go, okay, that makes sense. So making it seem easy and talking about, look, anyone can do this system. Here's how the system goes. Look, so easy. Some people enjoy that. Hesitations. And so this is a bit of a catch-all. You should know your audience from the ICP work that we did in video 1, from the building an offer that they would then resonate with them. And so you should know the kind of general hesitations that they would have about buying from you. And so this is like a catch-all. It's going to be things like being price sensitive, about whatever it is for that specific audience. Anything that doesn't fit into these other ones is covered here. And then FOMO close, essentially. And you might be doing things like a cart open and a cart close, and it's cart's closing in 2 days. You've got to get in quick. Or if it's evergreen, you then turn that into a FOMO element. Look, you've already wasted this much time. Can you afford to waste another 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months? How much money are you going to miss out on? Or what results are you going to miss and opportunities by not taking action today? But by running people through these 5 stages, you're able to remove several of those blocks. Some people will buy immediately because they just needed to feel like it's not their fault and they do actually have potential. Others need to feel like they actually have the ability to get it done. Others will need to feel like it's easy for them and that mechanism makes sense. Some will need a combination. Some will need all of them. It's, some will just need that final push of FOMO to actually take some action. Fact is, you can't just say buy. You need to consider the different reasons why somebody isn't buying and sequentially remove them and obliterate them and address those things, so that basically somebody's, I get it, I'm happy with this. Depending on the funnel, the offer, I go with 1 to 3 emails or messages per stage. So that would be up to, and I go for 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. It's a 15-day sequence. Boom. That way as well, you're covering all of your bases, you're hitting different people at different times, and basically somebody who might miss emails 1 and 2 will still get email 3 on day 3, because not everybody opens every single email. But I like to do 3 emails per stage. Now you might be thinking, this is still going to be very samey. I'm still going to be saying the same stuff over and over again. It's going to get boring. Not necessarily. Here's how you craft your messages, okay? I just use a simple matrix for these things. So let's say you've got the absolution stage. I'm going to think about it. I want to absolve them of this, and you should know from your ideal customer persona what you need to absolve them of, what fake beliefs and what pains that they're carrying with them that you need to say, it's not your fault. You say, I'm going to make this email actionable. Okay, so absolution and actionable, that's one. Absolution and proof-based one. Here's how Jane didn't think that she could do this, and she'd been following all this terrible advice, but now I'm going to show you what Jane achieved by doing this. There's your proof. A controversial one, excuse me, controversial one works well with absolution because it's like the common belief is this, it's wrong, here's why, here's a better way. So you just build a little matrix of different tones of voices and the different stages, and you just tick them off. And you could just do actionable, proof, controversial, and you could do absolution, actionable, absolution, proof, absolution, controversial, empower and excite, actionable, empower and excite, proof. It's just to come at the same message from different angles so it always feels fresh, and you're covering those different reasons why somebody won't buy. Really simple. Simple matrix, right? So then you need to consider how to supercharge those results. Essentially, there are two things that you need to really focus on when trying to get somebody to pay higher amounts of money with you. It comes down to a lot of different things. Lower ticket purchases are all going to be about the actual product itself. Is it a good deal? All of this kind of stuff. That's all people really care about. Higher ticket purchases, they want to know more about you. They want to feel like they know you, they trust you, they like you. They believe that you can help them achieve their goals, okay? And the only way to really overcome those boundaries is to increase the consumption of your materials and the number of touch points. It's very difficult to sell somebody a $50,000 deal on a first meeting. But if you've met them 3, 4, 5, 6 times in different environments and they've seen different pieces of content and all of this, it becomes easier and easier. But they need to consume that content as well. So you're looking at increasing the touch points, the different ways that they can connect with you and that they consume stuff that you've done, and how they consume that they consume more of it. So the best way that I found to do this is to include different channels, formats, and styles. The person you can, and I know people who have done very simple things where it's, I'm just going to send emails to a sales page, done. And the emails do the heavy lifting and the sales page does it then. But if you look at the people who really do this well, they're sending emails that take the people who have taken their like self-liquidating offer, so the buyers list, and they'll send them on this week. It's to a YouTube video that's of a workshop they did. Next week, it's to a 5-page document that they created to show how to do this. The next week, it's about an interview. And so maybe that's audio. The next week, and that is a mix of different channels, different formats and different styles, long form, short form, whatever. And you have to build that ongoing sequence around those things. So email 1 might be to YouTube. Email 2 might be to a social post, oh, hey, here's an absolution piece based on actionable. I actually did more on this LinkedIn post, on this Twitter post, on this whatever TikTok video. You can check it out here. And all that you're doing is you're increasing the number of times that they interact with you so that they feel more comfortable with you. They get to know you more. And eventually they feel like they are happy to spend higher amounts of money with you. 3 might be to a blog post that you've written, 4 back to a YouTube video, so on and so on. And then with these pieces of content, you alternate and you mix it up. So it's not always the same thing. So it's always fresh and it's always new and they consume more of it. So it could be long form, short form, highly produced, pretty raw, you with a camera in your face and you're just talking to your phone as you're walking the dog, different focuses, different formats, all of these different things. So you need to mix it up a little. And that is what I found works really well to really build that relationship and the rapport with people so that they feel more comfortable spending higher amounts of cash with you. Talk about this a lot in Growth Models Plus. And I'm always doing analysis of people out there who are doing really good things. We have a swipe file folder where we'll be talking about this. And it is very much, oh, look at this person, how they built this funnel, and they've got 3 different pieces of content. You can check those out as well. If you join Growth Models Plus, you get access to all of the swipes. But essentially, that's what it's about. It's about moving people through the different stages to remove these blocks and doing it with different forms of content so that they are engaging with you in different ways. They get to feel like they know you a bit more, all of this kind of stuff. So that trust is being built. And as you're removing the blockages, that perceived risk lowers as well. So people then feel more comfortable spending higher amounts of money. The guy who was talking about where we did, I don't think I wrote it down, it was like 14 grand in 2 weeks. It was a mix of emails, because it was to the list. So we did it primarily through emails. But then that directed people to, sometimes the email did all of the heavy lifting. Sometimes there were social posts where basically it was like a free teachable moment that was in a social post. Go and see the social post. They would see his face. They would hear his voice. They would see that he knew what he was doing. Other times it would be a link to a video of, someone talking about how it had helped them. All of this stuff. Different formats that are all focused around removing blocks and building trust so that somebody can get from where they are now to where they feel comfortable spending high amounts of money with you as quickly as possible. We've templatized this whole thing within Growth Models Plus. If you want access to the templates and the system to help you build this yourself, join Growth Models Plus and you can get this. Basically, it's just about producing enough content, and really, you can see insane results with this with about 20 pieces of content. And what we do is we call that 5 deep pieces of content where you're solving problems. And then each one of those 5 pieces has, do I want to go up or down? I want to go down. 3 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything then points to the end goal of getting them on your high ticket offer. So 20 pieces of content. These can be done in 10 minutes a day with the right templates. So it really doesn't have to take that much time. You can implement that in your business. And essentially, this is how you get people who have paid you up to $100 to feel comfortable paying you $2,000 plus in a matter of weeks. If you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully that's been useful. But yeah, there's the other videos that I mentioned. You can find the links around this video. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want extra help with this and to get all of the templates and systems that we build around this and the courses, check out Growth Models Plus. There'll be a link around the video as well. Anything else, let me know. I'm about to head off on vacation, so I actually have to go pack my bag now. So best of luck, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.